Tycho.
Montana.
Bang.
I made that money. I bought me a team.
Hello and welcome. Alan with Comedy Sage and Wellness. Improv Chiropractic Night. This is wonderful. I finally caught up with David Konn, President, Founder, and CEO of ILWA NA. That's ILWA North America. Obviously we all know ILWA stands for Harmony, and he has brought into my life a fermented metabolized ginseng, which we're going to talk about tonight, and how this is giving patients an attitude adjustment, physically, mentally, and spiritually. That's been phenomenal, and why all of my chiropractic clients and patients around the country are loving it. So first of all, I thank you for bringing this into my life. I thank you for sponsoring Comedy Sage and Wellness, and all of the chiropractors around the country are thanking you, because this product was not in America 2 years ago.
That's right.
So welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself and this wonderful elixir known as ginseng. And by the way, you're going to learn tonight, there's ginseng and then there's ginseng.
Well, great. Alan, thank you for this opportunity to speak with you and your audience. I know that...
And thank you for letting us come into your little hotel room tonight. I had to get you while you were in town.
Right. You know, we enjoyed a wonderful time at the show together, and I was so inspired to find how deep your roots are in the chiropractic field.
Yes, for everybody watching, this was, obviously, we've done the FCA and all of the Parker shows and many chiropractic events. This was the ACPA, the American Physicians Chiropractic Association. Wonderful show, wonderful doctors, and you helped a lot of doctors there.
Yeah, it was good. So anyway, we met there, and I was fortunate enough to have you come over and try the ginseng. And I guess, how would you like me to explain a little bit about what is ginseng?
Well, this first segment tonight, good question. This first segment tonight is just to let everybody know that there's ginseng and ginseng in this age of nutrition and wellness. Why does ILWA, the Gin ST15, metabolized and fermented ginseng, have the impact it does? Because listen, you know, wellness instructor for 30 years, vegetarian. I understand chiropractic above, down, inside out. I understand the greatness of innateness, and I've taken ginseng before. I've taken no product that has had the profound effect for wellness, for recovery of fatigue, for overall homeostasis and balancing, for digestion. I know there's no silver bullet or one product that does it all, but if any product comes close, the last 4 months I've been taking this product comes close. Why?
Why is it? That's a great question. Well, it is interesting. I like to call ginseng, Alan, the most known but most misunderstood of herbs. And when I say that, by the way, just cut for a moment.
Wait a minute. There are no cuts. We're live. Just like in real life, when my doctors are adjusting their patients, there's no interruptions in cut. Energy goes from the brain, travels down the spine at the speed of light. The 24 bones called vertebrae dictate and direct that life. And once I put this ginseng into my body, it's got me, and that's why we're here. This is an amazing product. So let's just make it real simple, because we're going to keep it 5-6 minutes for everybody so they can go to ComedySage.com and order and experience this. Why is it so good?
Well, to try to cut as closely and shortly as I can, as they say, the Reader's Digest version. First of all, it's important to understand ginseng is one of the most known but most misunderstood of herbs. Everyone has some knowledge. Oh, I've heard of ginseng. Generally the viewpoint is, yeah, ginseng I heard is kind of good. They usually think ginseng energy, and then they think, well, there's lots of different kinds of ginseng. There's Siberian ginseng, there's Tibetan ginseng, there's Indian ginseng, Korean ginseng, American ginseng, all different types.
Rhodiola.
Well, that's exactly
Indian
right.
ginseng.
No, that's Tibetan ginseng.
Ah.
But it's interesting because once they discovered the unique active ingredient in ginseng, it's a ginsenoside, it's a plant saponin called a ginsenoside, that really defined what is ginseng, what is not. And what we discovered was, well, there is no Tibetan ginseng, that's rhodiola, as you mentioned. There's no Indian ginseng, that's ashwagandha. Well, how about Peruvian ginseng? No, there's no Peruvian ginseng, that's maca. Brazilian ginseng, suma. And everyone, well, I've always heard of Siberian ginseng, no, that's eleuthero. So actually the only true ginsengs are American and Korean and Japanese and Chinese ginseng.
Those are the only 4 real ginsengs based on, those are the ones that carry the most ginsenosides.
No, they're the only ones that carry ginsenosides, period.
Ah,
None of the other ginsengs carry ginsenosides, therefore they're not ginseng.
wow. Okay,
So
that's one difference.
why was everything called ginseng? It's because historically for over 2,000 years, ginseng has been known as kind of the king or the queen of herbs. It was the #1 treatment protocol, prevention and treatment and anti-aging protocol has been used for over 2,000 years. So it's an amazing herb. And then when they found other adaptogens that were similar, rhodiola, they call, oh, that's Tibetan ginseng. Or ashwagandha, oh, that's Indian ginseng. They called it ginseng. Ginseng is kind of like Google. You know, I Google this. Well, you're actually searching. Well, we don't say search anymore. We say Google.
Right.
It's the same kind of way, just another G.
Right.
So ginseng's the other G, other than Google.
Ginseng started it all.
So here's what
Obviously
happened.
the original Viagra too.
Well, that's exactly right. The way ginseng started out was energy and the original Viagra. But the interesting thing is the founder of Ilwa realized that Korean ginseng is very unique because it has more ginsenosides than any other ginseng. It actually has close to 38 different types of ginsenosides. American has 13, Chinese has 14, and Japanese has 8 different ginsenosides. So the number of different ginsenosides is what they call the range of adaptogenic effects. You may ask, well, what's an adaptogen? It's what helps the body adapt to stress. Actually, stress is part of nature. And so ginseng is an amazing herb that helps you adapt to stress.
Balance
Gets you back
stress.
into balance.
Balance
Exactly
stress.
right. And there's a medical term, it's called homeostatic balance. It brings the body into homeostatic balance where the organs, the energy level in the organs become in balance, and the hormonal levels become in balance, and then you self-heal. When you sleep deeply, when you do meditate, Alan, I know you're a great meditator. When you meditate deeply, you get great medicinal benefits because the body comes into balance and self-heals. Ginseng is the #1 herb that's ever been discovered that brings the body into that homeostatic balance, so it supports self-healing.
One of the big reasons I love it is when I take it, growing up today, I could be the ADD poster child, even with adjustments in exercise and nutrition. But this has taken me to the next realm of balanced energy. It's taken the edge off. My highs are not as high, my lows are not as low. It's been real steady. And I, like you, am flying all over the country working at a pace. And all of the doctors and patients that have been on it since I met you, which has now been over 4 months, the response has been phenomenal. Therefore, when you and I hooked up to say, let's get this to everybody else I know, and one of the big questions I ask, because I dislike MLM, multi-level marketing, don't want anything to do with it, just a personal preference, I really respect the integrity of this company that they did not go that route, and you kept it extremely professional. And again, not to discredit any MLMs, I just don't like that game. I like how you've set it up, where you can get the product to everyone at a very low cost.
Okay. Well, the main thing is, how is the Ilwa ginseng so different from other ginseng? Because there's a lot of ginsengs. In fact, ginseng came to the market in the 1970s. And as you said, it became known as the first energy and the first Viagra. And so it really took off. So the main type of ginseng that's been utilized is what they call red ginseng, where they use high heat steam in the processing. And so the high heat steam is what actually has a benefit because it differentiates the ginsenosides. But the problem is it also denatures the root.
Right.
You wipe up all your vitamins, you also reduce your amino acid profile,
Right.
and you actually wash out all your organic germanium, which is a blood detoxifier.
Right.
So you lose so much of the potential broad range benefit of ginseng, but it's very good for energy. So a lot of people say, oh, I tried ginseng, I don't really like it. Remember at the show, doctors would come by and say, oh, I tried ginseng before, it amps me up too much, I'm already
Right.
high
Yes.
energy.
Yeah.
We said, we went into the science as we went through it,
Right.
then they realized, wow.
And what I like too is when he said science, that there's 30 years of research and over 4 patents, which by the way, we'll give the website so they can look up the research and look up the patents, because this is just one of many. since we've now found that we can help this many people and the results have been phenomenal, we're going to do a lot of shows. And we're going to get a lot of little snippets of information out there. I just wanted to get the ball rolling, and I'm glad you came here. So with that said, I want to end with this. The fermentation process, and one of the things I like, I'm into fermentation. Again, being a vegetarian for 30 years, I understand that when you take the fermentation process, it becomes bioavailable and our body absorbs it. And that's not just saying it, the research proves that. Touch on that research.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't get quite there yet. Ilwa made a completely balancing ginseng. That's why they became the world leader in ginseng science. They don't use high heat, they don't peel the rootlets, they harvest at the optimal time, all things that nobody else does with ginseng. So it's been historically a very balancing ginseng. And it brings people in homeostatic balance. And when I interviewed doctors originally for my research for the company in 2008, I was amazed that doctors would say, one of my biggest problems in my practice is adrenal stress. My patients have a lot of adrenal exhaustion, and they said
Any
nothing.
doctors out there recognize adrenal stress?
Right.
Yeah, everybody.
And you know, and chiropractic is a wonderful way to address the energy flow in the body to help it come to balance, and ginseng does it biochemically. That was already with the regular ginseng, but then they realized not everyone is getting full absorption. And what we actually found is only 40% of women and 30% of men were getting full absorption of all the key ginsenosides in ginseng. So we developed a process, first in the 90s, with a bacterial fermentation, where we found that the absorption was done in the lower intestine, you know, the ascending colon. So a lot of people weren't getting full absorption, so we had to find a way to improve the absorption. So we wanted to find the metabolite form of the ginseng. So it was discovered in '99, the end-stage metabolite, and they called it IH901. IH stands for Ilhwa. Today you can see hundreds of studies on IH901, compound K, and M1.
And that was Ilwa. That was the research from Korea.
That's right.
For all those years.
Yeah.
And you brought that to America in the elixir form, which, by the way, is 12 drops under your tongue. So this fermented elixir can get right into your body. And the results are pretty amazing and astounding for everyone. And don't take my word for it. We've got a special tonight. It's $49.95. You can get it for $39.95, just clicking on comedystage.com and following the instructions to the website. And before I let you go and bring you back, if you could...
Well, just about absorption, if I could mention.
Absolutely.
Our science was able to show, once we did the bacterial fermentation, when I got involved in the company and I did the research in 2008, I recommend that we do research but focus on absorption, which they did.
Right.
And they
Because
created an
nothing happens
enzyme
until you
fermentation
digest it.
process. And we got 2 patents that were awarded this year, 2013. And for high absorption ginseng, and we actually were able to show 15 times increased absorption and 4 times faster absorption. That's why we call it GinST15, for 15 times more absorption and 4 times faster absorption.
And your website for that information?
Yeah, the website you can go to is GINST15 or GinST15.net. That's GIN15.net.
Excellent. So, in closing, one of my favorite poems always used to be when I was talking with illuminating fun shows. A man knocked at the heavenly gate. His face was scarred and old. He stood before the man of fate for admission to the fold. St. Peter asked, "What have you done to get admission here?" The doctor hung his head and said, "I've been fighting the medical world for many a year." The pearly gates went open wide. St. Peter touched the bell. "Come in and choose your harp," he said. "You've had your share of hell." And what's really nice now with the internet age and all of the chiropractors and all of the alternative doctors and all of the wellness nutrition people who have hung in there over the years and literally got ahead of the pharmaceutical industry, including Monsanto. This is non-GMO. And when you explained that it was non-GMO and the sacred grounds where it's growing, that's huge. Because again, it's not what you eat, it's what your body digests. And so this is the real thing. And all of the people that have been taking it have loved it. We thank you. And again, don't take my word for it. Find some elixir for yourself and get it in your system. And if you'd like a wellness show where you can actually have let's tell him that real quick. You're actually sponsoring where when a doctor buys a case for his office, you're giving him extra product and extra free samples that he can share with his patients. And I do a ginseng wellness day of education and chiropractic, and everybody gets high on life, chiropractic, and ginseng. It doesn't get any better than that, does it?
No.
You know, I'm glad you're paying me, and I'm glad you're a sponsor, but I could be one of these guys on the side of the road with this work. We'll work for food.